he picked me up when I was about 14, 15 years old, and he realized that there's this young teenager making trance music. I think the country sort of picked it up when I hit #1 on the trance charts globally. I'm constantly evolving and I don't want to hinder that evolution, so I let myself flow with time and see where that takes me, and I try my best not to set specific expectations in the far future because tomorrow might never come, right?
How is Singapore fundamentally different from Malaysia in every aspect? Like, let's maybe can start from like dance music point of view first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel that Singapore's dance music community is very, very small. It's very close-knit. Everybody knows each other. And that's a good thing. Of course, you hear all kinds of different stories from all of our colleagues in the industry, right?
Yeah.
So you hear those stories, but it's it's a small scene. It's very small. I mean, smaller than what we have in Malaysia, that's for sure. I feel that there's a lot of potential in Singapore because things are a little bit more open here to a certain extent. I mean, here we are and walking around, you see all these shops and all these places around here in this area specifically, isn't it? So it's very open here in Singapore. You know, you guys have a very open culture, maybe a little bit rigid, but that's okay.
Yeah. I think it's because of the governance lah. That's why it's a little bit like stifling the creativity in some sense.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. But then the thing is, I'm quite like surprised also that you are saying that the Malaysian EDM scene is like bigger, because yes, Malaysia, the population is bigger, right? But don't you feel like Malaysia is predominantly run by hip hop as to compared to dance music?
I would say that dance music is very large. Not to say very, very large, but it's large to a sense that it is impactful in Malaysia. Hip-hop has always been the thing.
The main, like the mainstream.
Yes, has always been the main thing in Malaysia.
Yeah, right.
Government supports hip-hop music.
Oh.
Yeah, government supports hip-hop music. We're hoping to see a change where the government will also look into dance music and consider that as a form of art in our country, and I think we're slowly gearing towards that lah. Hip hop, yes, it is predominant. You go to clubs and there's a lot of great hip hop DJs back home.
Yeah.
But dance music specifically, it's relatively big. I think it's bigger than what you guys have here in Singapore. To be honest with you,
definitely.
We're a lot of Malaysians are very open to new sounds. And to hear that from some of my Singaporean colleagues and friends telling me that they like partying and like coming to Malaysia because we are open with the kind of music that we play. We can play anything. There's no restriction. We don't have to conform excessively, you know. So there is a sense of openness in that into that degree lah.
Yeah, especially in Singapore, if you don't play a certain sound, right, that is popular, wow, then everybody go to the popular place, right? Then you're left with only 5 people.
Yeah.
But I think Malaysia really got enough population to play with.
I guess so.
Everybody got a crowd.
However, not all states in Malaysia have nightlife, ma. I'm sure you know that. We've got conservative states, you know, especially up north. You practically Penang got what?
Yeah,
Penang got, Johor got, Malacca also got. Perak, do we have in Perak? Not really lah. So, I mean, there are venues, but not everywhere. KL is still the city center, still the main place for nightlife lah in Malaysia.
Right. Are they building up Johor a bit? Johor Bahru?
I think so.
Music a bit?
I think so. I just played in Johor on Friday.
Damn!
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a full house, sold out show. So that was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. But the crowd came very late. The crowd came at about 2:30 only, you know, the crowd come. 2:30 at night.
What time the club close?
Sorry?
What time the club close? Like 6?
4.
Oh shit! Then the hell?
4 lah. Yeah, supposed to be 4 lah.
Oh, that's crazy. So then you start at 2:30.
I started at 2.
2 o'clock. To close
Was it 2? What time did I play? 2 to 3. Yeah,
2
to 3.
Damn. Yeah. Okay.
So people only really started coming in only about 2:15-ish. Yeah.
The sound that you are playing is hard trance, but are you diving into like a little bit of techno?
No. Well, I have influences of techno. I have influences of drum and bass, house music, but the score of the track is still hard trance. It's a hard trance score. The score and the way I write tracks is a hard trance format. Yeah. So it is hard trance.
Progression and everything is really, the DNA is trance lah.
Yeah, trance. Of course, I've gotten a lot of influence from hard house, NRG, those sounds have always been a part of my sound. So yeah, because hard trance itself is very wide, but isn't it? So yeah, I have my signature lah. That's what you're asking.
Right.
Yeah.
Going a little bit back to like Malaysian clubbing. Recently, I heard from someone that Malaysia is recently clamping down on clubbing. Like they have a lot of like non-Muslim guest lists. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I think there are some.
What's happening? I don't understand.
Not sure. Well, I would say perhaps like the way some clubs are run could be a little bit rigid, or maybe they have their own internal policies that they want to follow. I know that there are some hybrid venues. That's what you call it, right? Hybrid, those
live and
bar, club, those kind of things. Some of them, they don't allow people of a certain ethnicity to go in, so I find that a little bit appalling, to be honest with you.
Oh, it's not government imposed?
No, where I got. I don't, that's not the case. No, some places, they just don't want certain people to come, which I think is stupid, that's all.
Okay. Yeah, because my impression was not that, because I heard it's like some government lockdown or something, clamped down on like Muslim partying or something like that. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I think now we are shifting to a little bit more of a progressive approach to these things back home. I mean, sure, Islam is our official religion. I'm a Muslim, but I'm just practicing my art form, and people enjoy this art form. There's no harm to let it continue. There's no harm in that, or in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. With Muslim support, and also with especially government support. Right? You want government support in something, right? Most of the time, the arts have to like clean it up in some way, like make the image a bit cleaner so that the government can like put their front and to support it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, what are some efforts that the Malaysia side is doing, right? So that as to obtain government support similarly to the levels of hip hop?
Well, we've got a lot of grants for creative industries, and we recently, I think, if I'm not wrong, we had full female lineup music festival, and then there are DJs, there are live performance singers. I run a media event and talent agency called Electronity. So we're very community centric in what we do. I run it together with my partner and manager, Roma, which is over there. So we like to look at things in a community perspective, and we want to bring the best image of dance music out to the public. So it's less about the vices, less about the alcohol, less about the drugs, less about the negatives. We want to focus more on the talent, the music, because that's what it is. We're in the music industry. It shouldn't be centered around just that. It's music industry. It should be all about the music. It should be about the talent, the people behind the music, the people not. When we talk about this as an industry as a whole, there are people that does everything. I mean, there's photographers, videographers, even the waiters and waitresses. We've always felt that, their welfare should be looked after as well. So these are things that we are slowly navigating to find solutions to that. Yes.
So would you consider yourself like DJing full-time now? Or
I'm a full-time artist. And also I run my agency together with my partner.
Right. So how long did it take you to get to that point? Because it's like being full-time in the music industry is like virtually impossible for 90% of the people. Yeah. So how long did it take you to get to this stage?
Well, I would consider myself very lucky, because when I started producing music when I was 11 years old, I signed my first record deal when I was 13.
Damn.
Yeah, 13 years old. And then it progressed on, and then I got picked up by Roma, because Roma has been in the industry for a very long time now. He's a legend in the industry, to be honest with you. So he picked me up when I was about 14, 15 years old, and he realized that there's this young teenager making trance music.
11 years,
Yeah, this was when I was 14, right? 14 or 15 years old, what? Yeah, 14. And then, I think the country sort of picked it up when I hit number 1, on the trance charts globally. That was in 2016. I was 17, not yet turned 17, but I was 17 that year. That's when everybody was like, wow, there's this fucking 17-year-old kid, making this kind of music, and he just reached number 1. So as soon as I turned 18, I immediately could play in clubs already. I was already immediately into the scene already as soon as I turned 18, as soon as I was legal to enter the clubs. My first debut show was at KL Live. which was a sort of big indoor venue. So that was my debut show lah.
Right,
So
right,
after that, here I am today in Singapore doing a podcast with you.
It is so hard, right, to reach number one in anything. But then I think it's even harder to follow up because we have so many examples out there of our friends that managed to score big tunes, millions of views on their songs, you know, get signed by this and that. But what was the follow-up plan after that? How do you follow up and not just be like a one-hit wonder?
I just wanted to continue making music because that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
Chasing a one-hit wonder shouldn't ever be the main direction. It should come from the heart. I've said this before. Like, as a music producer, you should never create music as it's an art form. You can't force art. You're not a machine, You're a human. Humans are capable of perceiving art. Maybe AI could do it soon, but because you are making art, you should never force it, Yeah. So I just keep on making music, play the nice shows, do everything that I possibly can to enjoy myself because I enjoy what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So like even when you hit number one and then your next song or your second, third, fourth, fifth song didn't hit the same high, but you didn't let it discourage you.
No, not at all.
Just keep making.
Yeah, it's because I love what I do. I have my fans that also love the music I do.
Right.
So that over time, all these charting things and the numbers and all, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's a little bit superficial to me.
Yeah.
Of course, it is something that a lot of people look at prior to booking you.
Yeah, man.
Sure, I understand that completely, but I've always felt that that shouldn't ever be the case from an artist point of view. You should really just enjoy what you do and just keep at it, lah. Yeah, don't let it discourage you. It never discouraged me.
Yeah. But then I think like being financially stable is still a very important thing that many people as artists, right, they don't really talk about.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Like so many people live the starving artist life and then they are like, oh, I just enjoy the arts, but then they cannot even do anything else.
Correct. A very good friend of mine once said passion doesn't pay. So it's a matter of finding your way around it, to be honest with you. I mean, for us, we've got our own things going on as well. We assist people here and there. So
the event sector.
Yeah. So we assist them here and there. The artist side of things, for me, like I said, I'm lucky. I consider myself a little bit lucky that I've got good opportunities to do certain things and I can support myself, support what I do.
And the fact that you are like focus on one genre, what happens if that one genre, right, is no longer popular or the charting genre,
Well, I've seen a lot of artists switch their identities depending on the trend.
Yeah.
I feel that it's never the right thing to do because an identity as an artist is something that you should definitely keep very strongly. When trends come and go, I believe that you should as a music producer, you should make the music and gear the certain elements to fit the trend. Not turn the entire track or turn your entire style into, let's just say, I'm making hard trance now.
Right.
Now techno is hard techno or what is the main big thing at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sell out and suddenly say, oh, I'm making hard techno now.
Right.
I could make a hard trance track with hard techno kicks inside, some hard techno steps inside. Hard trance and hard techno is very similar anyway. You listen to a lot of the business hard techno now, it's practically early hard trance, early hard style. So the lines have been blurred.
Yeah.
Why sell out when you can continue being yourself as an artist genuinely and, navigate and sort of like adjust your style depending on the trend rather than 180 degree change.
I would say this is like a minor shift, but I believe I personally have gone through like multiple 5-year cycles, right, of the clubbing world that I realized that, okay, this particular 5 years, hip hop will be popular. Then there's no such thing as EDM back then. And then eventually EDM became big and then EDM died, then hip hop became big again. So whoever that played EDM during that 5 years when hip hop was big, right, they are practically getting 0 gigs and 0 funding and 0 income. And they had to like, I don't know, be a waiter or something. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's tough and luck also plays a part, right?
Yeah.
I think, Leonard, to be honest with you, it's a cycle.
Yes, it always is.
It's a cycle. One day it will be this, and then it will eventually change and turn. And now it's hard techno. Now who knows what's next? Yeah.
So for you, you are very loyal to your genre. You stick through the thick and thin. Basically, up and down, you're right. The hard trance train the way.
For sure, because there's always a place for everybody. Maybe it wouldn't be here in Asia, for example, but there is a market for this music in Europe, a loyal market, in fact. So there's always a place for everybody.
Would you say the hard trance community and the trance community is the same?
Well, we come from the same branch, that's for sure. Yeah. There are very pure trance people where they are not. It's not easy for them to accept new styles, but I believe that the hard trance community globally is very open to these things.
Because they're technically the newer sub-branch of trance, right? Hard trance.
Well, hard trance came very early back in the 90s, and then it sort of progressed into hardstyle, and it slowly went on and progressed into different subgenres like UK hardcore. Hard trance came very early in the stage of EDM, so maybe the cycle could be coming next.
Right. And then I would say the main two people in the trance music scene, right, historically has been Armin van Buuren and Tiesto.
Trance, you mean?
Yeah, trance.
Yes.
Like in the main branch, the main trance, and then you have your
Tiesto.
you have your psychedelic, you have your hard trance, all the different, right? But the main branch, which is trance, right? The main two people is Tiesto and Armin, right?
I'm team Tiesto lah.
Yeah, but then the thing is, they themselves have also branched into so many different things already.
Yeah, of course.
And I would say, quote unquote, they're no longer as pure as what most trance fans would love lah. Yeah, but how do you view this as someone that is like so dedicated in your lane,
Like I mentioned, I'm team Tiesto. I like how Tiesto pivot. He's making drum and bass now.
Yeah, dude, he got UK garage also.
Yeah, so that's really cool. I like how he is navigating the scene, and I mean, I wouldn't say he's selling out because he's already at that level already.
He don't need already, right?
He's already there already.
Yeah.
Armin's also making radio commercial stuff. Fine, that's fine by me. I mean, I like how Tiesto navigated around all of this. I am team Tiesto, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually quite surprising.
Now that you put it right, the trance is team Armin and team
Tiesto. Because it's quite surprising, because like considering you are very like pure in your direction, and then you can have an appreciation for Tiesto. That's amazing, man.
Well, I wouldn't really say I'm that pure, because I've made a lot of different styles and brought in a lot of different styles towards the music that's spiritually me,
Right.
I guess the inspiration comes from seeing how these artists progressed and innovated their styles in order to keep up with the current times.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. It's like they already finished main quest already. Just do side quests for fun only,
Exactly.
Yeah. They don't really care already, because their identity is kind of like solidified.
For sure.
That's the way. Yeah, and the latest thing that happened to you, right, is your opportunity in London. I want to say that I watched some of your vlogs, right, where you rented the studio, right? That's where, I was like Googling Afro House, right? And then there's this DJ, right, shooting week after week, right, in this studio, and then got the bar lighting at the back. I'm like, where's, Then I'm like, shit, it's in London,
So they actually have a few branches,
Yeah,
it's fucking cool, isn't it? Sorry, do you mind profanity?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But what's the renting like, to rent that like self-service studio?
So it was like, you book it online.
50 euros per hour or something.
No, it was, because I booked it off peak, so it was not too expensive actually. It was only 26 quid for 2 hours.
Dude, quid is what?
Pound.
Pound is quid is pound, right?
Yeah. 26 pounds.
Singapore, what? Like $50?
Times 2.5.
Okay, like actually
26 pounds in Malaysian ringgit is about 150 ringgit-ish.
Okay, then same as Singapore. It's quite expensive, not cheap, to
That's
be honest.
Okay. I mean, if you think of it in UK pounds, it's 26 bucks.
Yeah,
it was cool. You book it online, they send you a code as soon as you book it, and then you go during your session, and then you type in the code, and then you go in. go in, record, and nobody.
Yeah. And then the time comes, right? Then the power will on by itself.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah,
it was very cool. I was impressed.
yeah.
I haven't seen something like this also, so it was quite impressive.
So the opportunity in London, you played at HTE.
So that was in Western Supermare.
Yeah.
So that was down the southwest.
Yeah.
In Somerset. So that is down southwest, Barat Daya. So how did it come about? I've worked with the label for more than 4 years, 5 years now, and they trust my sound completely. They love the music that I make. In fact, depending on the style of the hard trance sound that I make, I send those music depending on the style. So with Hard Trance Europe, they like my experimental stuff. And the people in that label, it sells itself. So over the past 4-5 years, I've gotten relatively close with the people that run the label, and you know, it's been a very pleasurable time working with these people over the years. So yeah, the opportunity came up. They asked me if I was keen to play in the UK and play a back-to-back set with Lab 4, because Lab 4 was the one that sort of like brought up the idea together with the owner of the label, Nick.
Right.
And then we discussed it, and then we made it happen, and then we created Aligning, and I was there for 5 weeks in the UK.
Whoa.
I was in the UK for 5. I lived there for 5 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did they sponsor anything, like a flight or anything?
Well, it's all sorted lah. I mean, come to think of it, it's a matter of like, because I live there in my own expense, of course, I definitely got paid for my shows.
Yeah.
But because I decided I wanted to stay there for 5 weeks, of course, I have to fork out some extra stuff lah.
Right,
one time go out, eat 15 pounds, and brunch is 90 ringgit
Bloody hell.
brunch, So
Nice, yeah.
I would consider it an investment. It was a very good investment for my brand lah, especially for the European market. Yeah, it was very nice and fulfilling to have like a lot of my fans and friends and colleagues of the industry, especially at that side of the world, finally get to meet in person. So that was really nice.
I really like your thinking, right? Where you say that, okay, I got some experimental stuff, right? Then I'll send to this label. I got some other stuff I'll send to another label. You don't have to change yourself to fit what, you know?
Yeah.
You as a human, you have 3 or 4 different sides, right? And then you can choose the label, you know. Yeah, I guess some people are so fixated at this particular label, right? They just keep producing that
For
sound.
the label.
Yeah, for the label. Then you kinda trap.
Well, it's one way to go about things.
Okay.
I know that there are a lot of producers and artists that make music for the label. But I like to do it the other way around, where I make the music that I like, and then I will decide which label will get the track. So let's say if I were to make something that's a little bit more cheekier, I will send it over to maybe Tidy. If I were to make something a little bit more commercial, maybe I'll send it to Armada. Experimental, HTE. Like that lah. Depend on my mood what I want to make.
And getting one label, does it make it easier for you to get another label, or is it like no link?
By link, you mean what?
Like for example, you send to HTE and you're very close with them, right?
Okay.
Then let's just say, okay, I got another track. Hey, shit, I didn't make it as hard. Cannot fit HTE, right? I want to send to Armada. Can they like you know, like recommend?
I don't think that is the case.
Right.
No.
So it's like you must find your own way.
For sure.
So every label is like a brand new restart. Like,
well, a lot of these labels talk to each other as well. They are all also connected, and they are all also working, all of us together in the same industry. So people talk, that's for sure. But different label, different track. Confirm. So if let's say I send it over to someone, they decline it, for example, I'll send it to someone else lah. And perhaps the next label that I have in mind to release the track will probably release it.
To put it into perspective, most of the time you must send 100 labels or more to get accepted to one. But I don't think in your case it's like that lah. So
well, maybe in the very beginning, yes lah. But you know, I come back to the same point again. I've been lucky, and I'm very grateful for that.
One thing lead to another.
Yes.
Maybe we can come another angle. If not for music, right? What else would you have pursued?
Well, I've a bachelor's degree in advertising.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm an advertising graduate.
Okay, glad to find someone similar in a similar case.
Oh, you also are.
Engineering degree, what the fuck am I doing here? Yeah.
Well, I studied advertising and I
But it's good what, then you can market your own.
Correct. So the reason why I studied advertising was because I felt it could complement my music career and vice versa.
Oh, wait, what's the difference between advertising and marketing, or is it the same thing?
Similar line lah. Practically the same lah.
Same thing
Almost the same lah. Because when as an advertising graduate, a lot of the current opportunities that are available for me in terms of the corporate world is to work in some marketing agency. Yeah, but I decided to start my own lah. I'm not someone that can take orders very easily. I don't take orders very easily.
Yeah. Understand. I guess it really is this generation. People rather take less money and have more control over their own lives.
Yeah. I think maybe the working culture here in Asia, especially Malaysia and Singapore, I think we're very similar in terms of working culture. Maybe it's even more rougher and tougher here, isn't it? It's more competitive here in the working world. So wouldn't you say?
I think actually both sides has their own struggle lah. Yeah, Malaysia got its style of struggle. Singapore is, even though Singapore is like, we are more civilized and more like clean looking, right? But walao, we are like master of like backstabbing each other, walao all that kind of shit.
So that happens in the working world also.
Yeah lah. I guess like every office also has got office politics. Yeah, but I think like Singapore brand is like next level.
Okay.
Yeah, which is why so many people prefer running their own business and like working from home. You know, you don't have to deal with, you know, you don't need to put up a fake face.
Yeah. I think I see a lot of my friends working in the corporate world and you know, a lot of them they change over time because of working, and then the lifestyle becomes different. You know, you go to work 9 to 5, come back, gotta finish some more, no time for this, no time for that. Then they stress themselves out. Then they lose their enjoyment in life. And I see that, and I don't ever see myself being able to do something like that. I mean, I could, but I don't want to lose my soul, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, because like after COVID especially, right, I begin to ask myself this question. If working for yourself, right, is much more lucrative, right, why would anybody work for anybody? Right. Then like, for example, if you're an owner, right, where do you find employees anymore? Nobody want to work for anybody. I want to run my own business.
Your own thing,
Wow, die already all like that.
Maybe from how I see it, it's like the way people think depends on what they want in life. Maybe because going through a working corporate is the easy way forward to climb the ladder, right? Starting something completely fresh is very tough. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah. Because corporate, you can see the year on year. You know, but entrepreneurship or being an artist is like
up and down.
It's only bam, you know.
Up and down.
You won't know.
Yes, correct. And to be honest with you, I like the unpredictability. It gives me drive. If I were to be slaving a 9 to 5, I feel that I will be a little bit like boxed.
Like kind of capped by that,
yes.
your potential.
Yes, I rather have challenges thrown at me and then I move about with the challenges, whether it's a up or whether it's a down. I like that. It gives me more of a push, a drive.
I saw this quote somewhere, right? They say that when you are 0 years old to 30 years old, right, if you are not rich, right, you are misunderstanding your position, because 0 to 30 years old is where you get good. And then 30 onwards is where you start to get rich. Like you learn, you kinda beat down, kinda suffering. Wow. But good on you, man. 25, you're already like making waves. And you know, how do you like picture your next 25 years? How are you gonna go? Are you gonna go more business route, or are you gonna stick to music?
Get married and start a family.
Are you fucking kidding me? Really?
In the next 25 years, isn't it? Really? That's the thing. For male artists, male DJs especially, there's no age limit.
We can wait a bit longer.
Yeah, there's no age limit, you know, where age is just a number, especially for male DJs lah. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Technically, your sperm can last until 55 years old. So don't wait until 56. 55 can.
55.
You learn from health education.
Still okay.
Yeah, 55
as long as
still
the kid
okay.
doesn't come out.
Yeah.
A little bit.
But I guess you are also like slowly starting to branch into like the business sector a bit lah.
For sure.
Yeah, because like slowly, right, as you sign your music away to someone else's label, then you realize that, oh, actually with that knowledge, I could actually sign myself or self-release.
That's true, and I've had self-releases as well. I've released my own music as well, but I've always liked working with labels, especially the labels that trust your sound, that trust what you do, they love what you do.
Yep.
They are the ones that will push everything out. And for a small royalty fee, that's not a problem for me. It's fine.
Yeah. As long as it's not like major label taking major cuts or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then also major label have more power to push your stuff also.
Sure. Yeah. I think a lot of artists within the dance music scene, I think they make their money from the shows rather than the music itself. The music's what gets you the shows. The music's what gets you the shows, so that constitutes your money lah, your finances lah.
I recently saw a John Summit interview, and then he's like, I had to take like a 1.5 month break, right, to write this album, right?
Okay.
And then he's like, wow, I'm like scared, yeah, because I need to turn down this booking, that booking, all that kind of thing in order to write the album. Do you like foresee something like that happening to you where you have to like turn down shows like, wow, shit, this period I need to like write?
I think that has happened already before, especially prior to COVID. That was the case where we had to decline shows. Even just before we went to the UK, I've had a lot of things that I had to sort out before I go to the UK. So we did have to decline some shows as well this year.
What was the decision like? Or is it like damn straightforward? Like, hey, this not...
Yeah, it was more of that. It's like, okay, would you like to play for this show? It's like, nah, I'm sorry, I have to get myself prepared for this show, and maybe when I come back.
Oh, right. Yeah. Wow. Okay, I guess your one's like more straightforward lah, like
straight to the point lah.
Fast and furious. Yeah.
What other way? What better mode of delivery if not straight to the point, isn't it?
Because certain times it's like the money versus the craft, and then I guess maybe you don't really have a big team. You need to feed everybody or whatever. That kind of stress lah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess maybe very different case for like John Summit.
Okay.
Yeah. I would suppose. Yeah, but maybe we can discuss a little bit about what are some of the behind the scenes work that you are doing, right? That your fans don't know and never see one.
Okay.
Dude, we can talk like 20 hours for this lah.
Oh,
but
sure.
Maybe you give us some highlights, man. Dude, I saw the studio with a lot of like keyboard. That one is like UK, right? It's in the Net 4 guys.
That was Nick Van Buuren.
The label owner.
No, it's a different Nick.
Another Nick.
It's a different Nick.
It's fucking mental,
yeah. His room is worth a lot of money, yeah. Nick, if you are watching this, you see we're talking in Singapore about your studio.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So a lot of the synthesizers at his place is like you cannot ever find them. It's not, they don't make them anymore.
Right.
So they go for a lot of money unless a big demand for all of this stuff. So it was very nice. We play around, test things out. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah. Nick.
So other behind the scenes work involve like sitting countless hours just trying to find the perfect snare.
Well, I know a lot of artists struggle with that, but I'm fortunate enough that doesn't happen to me lah. But I do spend a good amount of time making the music I make. Especially with the kind of music I make, I like to really like express myself with the art that I make in the form of music. So it could take me maybe 2-3 weeks to make a song, sometimes a month, sometimes 2 weeks in, and then things get busy, and then 2 months later only continue on the track. What other behind the scenes things?
So okay, when it comes to production, you are more invested in the melody than the technicalities in like sound design, right?
Right. Yeah, you can say so.
In a sense, I would say you are more composer than producer lah.
Okay.
Right, something like that, right?
Perhaps. I mean, I like to play around with the sounds. I like to modify sounds. I do my best when it comes to creating sounds, designing the sounds. Like if I say I cannot get it from a preset bank, or if I can't tweak a certain sound, then I will make an attempt to do it my own.
Okay. Yeah.
Of course, the easier option first though.
Fucking splice lah.
No,
1,000 people.
I don't use splice.
Oh, you don't use splice?
No, I don't use splice.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how?
I buy sample packs.
Okay. Yeah. Like a la carte from different renowned sound designers.
Yeah, I'm not really big on subscriptions to be honest with you.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I guess like really you can stand out lah, because lesser people as compared to splice, right?
Yeah.
Easier to stand out. Yeah.
Because a lot of I also realize a lot of people use vocals from splice. I have as well.
Yeah.
But I prefer working with hiring vocalists to sing the lyrics that I write.
Right. Wow. So songwriting, you're also like into that.
We've got some music coming out soon also. With
which is not very common with EDM producers because we are just mostly doing beats, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Wow. That's also another interesting one. And when it comes to like pushing out your own music, designing the graphics and everything, is it also all by you, or you have like an outsource or something?
I do a lot of the designs, graphic designs. I do a lot of the, social media stuff. Of course, we have our own in-house graphic designer that also works with us. But most of it, when it comes to, especially when it comes to my music, I will tend to have most of the hand doing a lot of the work. The music, the sending to the labels. Then let's say once the labels accepts the track and already scheduled for release, we will come up with a nice marketing plan for it. Of course, I'm leading the charge. I'm glad to have a few hands that can help me out with that as well. Like that.
Wow. This is like all the behind the scenes work that like most DJs do, but we don't talk about, man. It's not just put your hands up, you know.
No, you gotta be the graphic designer, PR manager, all lah. You gotta be everything. You gotta do it all.
Everything, man.
But of course, to have a few hands that can help you with certain things, that is always a better option, better way forward, lah.
Yeah. So for yourself, right, you are producer first and then DJ second.
Yeah.
And then for myself is reverse. I'm DJ turntablist. So I face a lot of the DJ problem that I don't know whether you face. So one problem is when you DJ, they ask you, how many people can you bring? Do you face something like that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think that's an Asian thing. It's like, okay, globally that is the case. But I think it's just very prominent here in Asia.
Right.
Yeah, globally also it's like that.
How do you deal with something like that?
Bring the crowd though. Call whoever or any of my friends that are willing to come and support me in the show. Come lah. Sometimes I don't have to do that. The fans just come by themselves. That's even better. Of course, I have my own friends that will come for my shows lah.
Because if the artist is doing the music and the promoting and everything, right, then what is the event organizer even doing? Right, that's the question that so many DJs here have asked. So I guess it's like certain stuff you might not need to take responsibility lah. Yeah, that's like my POV. I used to call people down until I realized that wow, I'm getting quite good at calling people down. Oh shit, but I never produced a single shit track.
You got caught up doing that.
The promoter,
instead, doing a promoter's job when that isn't your job, right?
Yeah. So then you realize, oh shit, I'm like still human. There's only 24 hours in a day. There's only so much we can do lah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I mean, of course, it's all about the full package at the end of the day, isn't it? If you have good music, you got good brand, I would say if you dress well, that also helps.
We are entertainers like at the end of the day.
Yeah. We are entertainers at the end of the day. Jack of all trades to a certain sense. We have to.
Yeah.
It's an industry that's moving and innovating every single day, every single moment. So we have to keep up with it lah. Yeah,
and I feel like there are some artists, right, that don't really see what we see, right? And they felt like, oh, you know what? Dressing up and being an entertainer is not me. I'm like above that. But they forget that they are not neurosurgeons, We are just freaking musicians, So at the end of the day, we really need to know our place, what our role is.
Correct.
And do our job well lah. Yeah.
I think a lot of artists and I don't know whether you can say up and coming or what. I think they need to understand and be very aware of who they are. We're coming back to identity again. What is it you actually do? Are you a cari makan DJ? Are you a DJ that is when you ask them what do you music to play? Or anything also I play one. Okay, so what's your identity? Because I can go to Spotify and search anything I want. Why do I need to hire you? Right? So I think there should be a little bit of I wouldn't say shift the mindset completely and that there's no problem being a cari makan DJ. I mean, if you want to call it that lah.
I mean, they call it the open format.
Open format, I have very good respect. There's a lot of great open format DJs. That's their identity to a certain sense as well. But to own that identity is completely different. Whether they are actually aware, yes, I am an open format DJ, or I play anything. You see the difference? I'm an open format DJ, and I am anything also. I play one lah. There's a difference in that.
And I guess when it comes to music and showcasing yourself as an artist, right? Because there's more and more DJs by the minute, you know. So how you stand out is, do I like this guy in the first place? Then I care about the music lah. So you basically have to show your personality lah. But let's just say, right, it is like, I don't know, maybe it's very trending to be like a, you know, the Gen Z call it a Sigma male or whatever, or Alpha or whatever, right? But then you're a cockster at heart. Right, imagine you're a cockster at heart, but then it's trending now to be cool, you know. Do you act cool?
I think if you try to be cool, you're not cool at all.
Precisely. That's the message that I'm trying to get out there. So for all you cocksters, please embrace your cock, okay? I just don't want to say it myself. I got this guy to help me say it. Because there's so many like successful cocksters, like you have your Valentino Khan, your Dylan Francis and all that kind of thing. Fisher, they made it work lah. So I guess is there a way that you invest in like selling yourself and your personality?
Selling myself
on top of the music?
Well, I've always believed in just being very genuine as you can lah. You know, I've got no filter sometimes in the way I talk on social media. Of course, I try my best to dampen that lah, right? I'd rather just tell it to another friend instead of blasting out online. I prefer to I wouldn't even say prefer, it's just natural to me. I'm just me. You know, and I think a lot of people try to be something they are not, and that's not really healthy for them as well. Especially in our line of business of music and artists. They try to be, I want to be the next Wukong, for example. I want to be Wukong. You know, then if you're trying to be him, then who the fuck are you, right? What's the point? You have to be yourself lah, and don't ever compare yourself with others, because you just gotta be you.
Correct. It's very tiring to be another identity lah. Then how long can you last, right? Very good example is actually Tayo Cruz. I don't know if you remember Tayo Cruz. I got a hangover, you know, that guy. Pop hits, right? But he's like a very silent individual, but he has to like portray a very bombastic image in front of stage. Then when he backstage, he's like, wow, damn tired. Then after a few years, he just cannot take it. Then he just like, screw it lah.
You know? I think a lot of people are like that. They get tired, or maybe they get burnt out lah.
To be not themselves lah.
Maybe, because if you are yourself, then where got tired? Like yesterday, I was having a very fun time at Club Ridge. It's to the point that I wasn't even tired after my show. I was like, okay, let's continue. You know, you get what I mean? Like that lah. Different people, different lah. You get what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. And so right now, which part of Southeast Asia would you say has the most opportunity for someone like yourself to grow as an EDM artist? Which country would you kind of like bet your money on?
I've always had high hopes for home, Malaysia. I mean, Malaysia is where, you know, the big festivals in Southeast Asia practically started. You know, it was the FMFAs and that old Port Dickson event back in the early all those. It was Malaysia that practically had all of that back in the day. Of course, Thailand had their full moon parties, but if we're talking about dance music, I think it started in Malaysia.
But now what Tomorrowland and EDC all going to Thailand?
Thailand.
Oh man.
I mean, it's why not, right?
And probably we both will end up go Thailand.
Why not, right? I mean, it's a tourist economy. A lot of the tourists love going to Thailand and so on.
Right. And do you still like wish to expand overseas, or would you rather choose to like make it here?
My priority has always been Europe, because my music's European. I've always geared my sound. I think the European audience are the ones that appreciate my sound, and I'm the most open to it. But it's great to see a lot of my Asian fans, whether they are from Vietnam, Thailand, or Malaysia, Singapore that are also open to these things, because when I make my music, sometimes I include sounds like Vina House, Feng Tao, Man Yao, that kind of elements inside. So that kind of gets people going, especially in Asia. And my fans in Europe will listen to it and it's like, oh, this is something new for me. And they're open to it, you know? So it's a blend of both worlds lah. It's a blend of both worlds.
I think it's pretty cool. And for people like us that loves to produce music that is predominantly enjoyed over in the West, right? I guess it also helps to have like an international worldview lah.
Yeah.
Because if we behave very like Asian, right, the culture might not gel well in a sense. Like we are more conservative. They are way more open and us.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess for someone like us that we have to, we want to go over there and invest, right? We have to also be understanding of their culture in a way.
Yeah. What's the point of going to another country and you don't assimilate?
Yeah.
Like, just imagine if I were to go downstairs and I start vaping. Cannot, what? I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah. So what are like some major challenges you see trying to bridge the east to west, that kind of gap? Like, do you have any like, I don't know, language or cultural barrier or something?
You must understand this lah, Leonard. Over there in Europe, dance music is their culture. Here it's a subculture in Asia. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah. They invented it, right?
Yeah, it's from there. It's part of their culture. After work, 9 to 5, straight to the pub. Here, back home lah, at least, our culture is, okay, go clubbing, mama. Like that. So it's different everywhere in the whole world is different. The challenge to bridge that gap is creating the best music possible that can sort of, as corny as it sounds, unite the two different worlds lah. As corny as it sounds, isn't it?
Yeah. I have a friend that recently moved to Amsterdam. He said that before he moved to Amsterdam, like just last month, but last year he visited, and then he said that in one night he managed to get more opportunities than staying in Singapore in 1 year. Yeah. So as we were discussing just now, right, would you agree that in Europe, if you go Europe, right, you can make it faster as compared to?
I would say perhaps okay. Define faster.
I don't know, like maybe get to your goal quicker. Like, what are your goals? Like, get hit songs, get festival bookings, this kind of thing.
I feel that when it comes to the European market, there is a place for everybody. You don't have to conform to a certain sense. Like, maybe in Asia over here, you have to play specific style of music. If you're a resident, you have to play a specific style of music, right? If you are, like, for example, I played at Club Rich yesterday. I didn't play a full-on hard trance set or what. I mix and match with a bit of hands up, Euro dance sounds, Chinese songs. So, yeah, I mean, there's a place for everybody lah. In the UK, while I was in the UK, there was a place for everybody, in my opinion. If you're a house DJ, there is a community for house music. If you're a hard trance DJ, there's a community for it, even though it's not the trending genre at the moment.
Right.
There is a place for everybody in
the
that side of the world.
The country is big enough and the understanding is deep enough that everybody can accept.
Yeah. When walking around, meeting people, and then people ask me, so what do you do? I'm a touring DJ. And they get impressed, and the first question they ask me is, what music do you play?
Wow.
So there it's culture for them. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, so definitely more opportunities, and you
for sure.
You can
for sure.
Make it in every sense.
But it's very saturated over there. Especially in the UK it's quite saturated. There almost everybody's a DJ. That's why, because of the music that I make, I stand out there as well. Yeah, because of the music I make there, for on the label and stuff, I'm a producer as well. So there's a lot of DJs. I'm sure here also we've got so many DJs.
But lesser producer.
Yes.
Lesser hard trance.
Of course. Yeah. So that is the case lah. That is
interesting. Okay. So, to close this off, what are your next steps? Now you are back in Singapore, Malaysia, right? Are you gonna like tour a little bit here, or are you preparing your next one to go overseas already?
Yeah, I think the next overseas thing might be in the works. We
Yeah.
will might announce that pretty soon, but we'll see. We'll see whether it's the right time or not. Yeah, but I wanna.
So does it accompany like a release? Like, okay, I'm dropping a song, then boom, I go
Well,
overseas?
I definitely have some music in the works. And as soon as I get back home on Monday, I want to get some music done as well. Yeah, I miss just sitting down in the zone, 6 hours and nothing else matters but making the music that I make.
Yeah, touring, wow, cannot say. I need to other people's schedule, mix with your schedule.
Yeah, well, it's fun, It's fun,
But you
it's
cannot
fun.
zone out, man. You can't zone
Yeah, you
out.
gotta stay a little bit sharp. Yeah, you gotta stay in track on what you actually want. What's your intention here? Like coming to Singapore, I know I want to do Club Rich. I know I want to come and have an interview together with you and go and meet everybody lah. Later also we're meeting some more people, right? Yeah, okay. Like that lah.
Happening night.
It has to be maximizing everything. Like when I was in the UK for 38 days, I was out every day doing everything I can.
Maximize lah.
Have to.
Might as well there.
Yeah, have to.
What, 18-hour flight or something like that?
13.
13 ah?
13.
It's crazy,
Direct,
dude. Okay.
Direct
cool.
from KL.
Yeah. But still, make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many times people think that it's just about the music, but sadly it is not. It's still a people-run community.
For sure. But it all comes down to being the full package lah. And I see myself as I'm constantly evolving by the day, by the show, by the tracks that I make. I'm constantly evolving and I don't want to hinder that evolution. So I let myself flow with time and see where that takes me. And I try my best not to set specific expectations in the far future because I like to live on a day-to-day basis. Of course, I have goals, but what matters is today because who knows, tomorrow might never come, right?
Right. To reach your goal, you have to be an organized person, yet you must like chaos. Wow.
Yeah, I
Rabak,
guess
sia.
so.
Tough life.
It's
Alright.
fun. It's fun.
Okay. Thank you so much. That's all for
thank you
today,
very
man.
much for having me.
This is amazing. Yeah. Thank you so
Likewise,
much.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it. Thank you.